Oh, indeed. We are still continuing our conversation around St. Paul's Carnival and what does it mean in this generation. This is the 21st century. And last week, you must have heard some community members pouring their concerns about the much loved festival, which today we see as, they believe the Carnival community have lost control of the Carnival. We have a very confident Carnival director here with us. His name is Ricardo Sharry, and we've been talking about the Carnival, and he's addressing those community concerns. The two things you mentioned there, the gatekeepers and the young people, I think they're quite important in taking the Carnival forward because it's young people that becomes tomorrow's elders. Ricardo, just want to, as a director who's been with the committee for just about 7 months or just over 7 months, that's pretty much a short time. I can see, I can kind of feel some new blood coming in to try and give the community back what they want. So what steps would you take to ensure that the Carnival remains rooted in the communities represented?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I want to say that obviously I'm from the community and for the community, and I don't believe that I have like a monopoly on what, that should look like. But in terms of like some of my ideas, I think that, as we move forward, touching on some of what what Judith said around kind of like the asset-based nature, Carnival, Docklands, Kumba, all of those organizations are assets in our community. And I think it's about understanding the value of that and then working with the community to truly understand how we both safeguard the Carnival for the future, but also how it evolves and how we make sure that it's safe. Because ultimately, the Carnival of yesterday has been shaped by the previous elders, and then the Carnival of tomorrow needs to be shaped by the young people. So it was really positive to hear some of those younger guys in the interviews kind of talking about how they want the Carnival and how it was previously. And I think it's about trying to work with that collective body to kind of get to that point.
I think it's exactly the point you just mentioned. I think it's one of education. Let's listen to this clip from last week.
The whole thing is about keeping the ethos and the journey of our journey in coming into England as African people from the Caribbean. So whatever genre of music flows with that culture, and the education side is what Amira is talking about, which we know, the dance and this. We have no one in our community or in probably Bristol who is being able to study our culture that we can give more light and more life to the city.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so what I would say about that is really about like self-organizing. So ultimately, the Carnival has a role to, educate and, touching on our 2023 program, we worked with over 6,000 students. We had over 400 volunteers. We were fully embedded on that full-scale Carnival. But in terms of that like cultural understanding and the education, we've got a lot of talented people in the city that have always talked about kind of a Pan-African education and what that would look like. My challenge to them would be to work with some of our city partners like the university, the City of Bristol College, and start working to capacity build some of those key resources and assets. Ultimately, Carnival can do our part, but we can't be all things to everyone. And I think it's about us as a community identifying where we have our strengths and our talents and, leaning on those people to drive forward some of those conversations.
Looking forward, is there a plan now to consult more widely with the community going forward? And if so, how would that be done? How do you see that happening?
Yeah, so I think it's a stage managed process. So one of the things that we'll be doing is we'll be recruiting to the board, recruiting for the governance back into the community. But before we get to that point, I think it's about having a community conversation around the legacy, but also the sustainability of the Carnival. That's both with the police and the council that obviously helped to close down the streets independently outside of the Carnival this year, as well as how the community sees the Carnival being safeguarded in the future. And I think that conversation is urgently needed.
Okay, that is certainly the future. So, I mean, I can sense your vision, but maybe you might just want to just express more of what your vision for the future of St. Paul's Carnival would be, and how can the community be part of shaping that future.
So I think, like I just want to echo that, I don't think I should have a monopoly on that. But in terms of working with the community, I think the vision needs to be around a collective partnership of community partners rallying around our assets, our collective assets, moving to, I guess you would say, kind of a consortium model. So we're working together with the community, with the council, with the police, with WECA, with the Arts Council, to make sure that year on year we deliver the carnival that is rich in culture and covers the Afro-Caribbean diaspora properly and is rooted in the collective consciousness of what we believe to be Afro-Caribbean culture.
Ricardo Sharry, Director of St. Paul's Carnival, thank you very much for coming to shed some light into the future of this great, amazing community entity.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll
Appreciate
look forward to hearing more from you as well.
Yeah, I'll be in touch.
Thank
Bye.
you.